Hey everybody, and welcome to Fitness and Fat Loss Secrets episode number 27. I want to welcome you if you're a first-time visitor to check out the Fitness and Fat Loss Secrets, and I want to welcome you back if you're back watching again. Thank you. And before we move further, I want to just explain to you what Fitness and Fat Loss Secrets is all about. It's to answer one big question, and the question is this: how do we lose weight while still feeling great without cheating by taking dangerous supplements, drugs, or undergoing surgeries that could really hurt us? And how do we sort through all of the confusing information out there when it comes to eating and exercising for fat loss? So that's the big question, and this Fitness and Fat Loss Secrets episode will have answers for you. Before we continue on, I would like for you to do me a huge favor. One is, if you have questions for how to go from where it is you are right now in the body that you're in, to go from there to the body that you want to be in, and you don't know how to do it, you're unsure of what to do, you don't know what to eat, you don't know or how to exercise, you don't have the motivation to do either one of those things, whatever it is. Whatever is coming up for you, I would like for you to ask me those questions in the comment section below. Now, I will either answer those live during the presentation today, I will answer those on the next episode, or I'll answer them in the comment section below right back to you, okay? So whichever it is for you, ask me your most challenging, whatever thing is stopping you from going from where it is you are to where it is you want to go. Ask me your questions below, okay? And I'll answer those for you absolutely free right here. Now, if as we go through the Fitness and Fat Loss Secrets episode today, if you gain any value at all, if you learn a little nugget, something you can implement into your workout or into your thinking or into your eating, I would like for you to like and share this so we can help spread the word, to get the word out there to help more people when it comes to getting more fit and losing weight. All right? So that said, let's move forward. Today, I have two very neat things for you, okay? The first thing is going to be an exercise tip. We're going to talk about the tricep, and the tricep is the muscle behind your arm, okay? Then secondly, we're going to answer a big question that I hear a lot, which is, hey Jay, how often should I train my abs? Sometimes you hear once or twice a week, sometimes you hear every day, sometimes you you hear all kinds of stuff. I'm going to share with you my input on how often you should train your abs and why. And I'm going to give you 5 tips and reasons to support my answer on that one, okay? And then I'll be saying goodbye to our Altman Fitness public-facing crowd, and I'll be answering one more big question just for members only. And when it comes, we're going to come right back to abs, and I'm going to be showing you a 7-minute ab program. We're literally actually going to get down on the floor. We're going to do this. We're going to do a 7-minute ab program that will get you an amazing result, something you can do to supplement and or stand on its own to do as an ab workout, all right? All right, so let's get to it. So first, we're going to talk about the tricep. And the tricep, as you may or may not know, if I bring my arm up here, it's behind the arm, and it's called the tricep because there are 3 muscles that are in the tricep. There's a muscle on the outside, there's a muscle on the inside, there's one that kind of goes underneath it, just like this, okay? Now, what I see a lot of times when people are doing tricep exercises, and I'm going to stand up here, my head might go out of the frame, but I'll keep talking, I just want you to mainly see my arms. When people are doing a tricep exercise, maybe you're doing a tricep push down. In fact, I'm going to go right back here to this machine here in a second, and I'll show you what I see. Oftentimes, there's a rope attached to the machine here, and so if you're working out at a gym, or if you're working out with us here at a studio, when we're doing triceps, oftentimes we're just going straight down like this. And what I want to show you with the rope over here is when you get down to the bottom, I want you to get down to the bottom, and then once you get there, you're going to pull to the outside. And the reason for that is, if you go just straight down, just work the inside part of the tricep. But when you pull to the outside, what happens, you get this lateral aspect, and that's really the biggest part of your tricep, the part that fills in and looks the nicest in terms of when you're wearing sleeveless shirts. Now, believe it or not, even though it's only, 11, 12 degrees outside here in Minnesota right now, it won't be long, you guys, and you know this, it won't be long until we're shedding off. I have all these layers on today, but it won't be long until we're shedding off the layers and putting back on short sleeve t-shirts and or tank tops to be outside and showing off the arms. So we want to get the arms ready in the winter before we get to spring and summer to show them off. So I'm going to show you here what this looks like. So when you are at a tricep push-down machine, if you're at working out in a gym somewhere, or even if you're here in our studio when we do our tricep exercises, again, you're going to push down. When you get down to the bottom, I want you to pull to the outside and go in from here to here, just straight down to the outside. You will feel a difference. You will feel what that feels like. It really gets the tricep fully engaged and fully fired up, all right? So that's one tip. Now, I'm going to show you next my very favorite exercise when it comes to getting the triceps to work, and especially that lateral aspect, the outside edge. You're going to get dumbbells, and I just have 5-pound dumbbells with me right here, right now. And you don't need a lot of weight for this exercise. If I was going to be doing this for real, I might grab 12, maybe 15s at most to do this exercise. But for most of you, even doing this exercise with no weight, you'll feel it. So if you if you're in a position, I want you to stand up right now and do this with me, because even with no weight, you'll feel it. But if you use weight, just know, don't use a lot of weight, because that's a big mistake I see with this exercise I'm about to show you, is people use too much weight and they can't actually do it correctly. So this exercise is called tricep forward bend. And for those of you that are members here at Altman Fitness, you'll probably know this exercise because we do it fairly often in here, because it's, in my opinion, the most effective tricep exercise on the planet. And especially if you get it right. Now, for whether you're here at Altman Fitness or you're not yet, I want to show you how to get this going. So you start by tightening up the belly, as if someone's going to punch you into the belly. You tighten up, you lock down the abs. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to lock back the shoulder blades, but you're hanging on the both. So the abs are tight, the shoulders are pulled back as far as you can. Then you're going to take your thumbs, you're going to rotate them out. Okay, so your palms face forward, but you're turning your arm, externally rotating as far as you can. Now, if your abs are tight and your shoulders are back and your arms are externally rotated as far as you can, even right here, you will feel your tricep muscles kick on. Now, from here, what I want to show you, though, is if you go from here and you keep a nice flat back, so keep your abs tight and the back pulled back. As you bend forward, your goal is to try to get down to your upper body, from my shoulders to my hips, are parallel to the floor. Now, depending on your own flexibility of your hamstring, you might not be able to go that far. But you have, with this exercise, it's important that the belly's tight, the shoulders are back, and you go as far as you can. So your flexibility, if your hamstrings are tight, you might only get to here. And if you get to here and then you have to round your back like this, stop. You can't do that if you want to maintain a healthy back. So tight abs, shoulder blades back, hands fully externally rotated, and then forward bend like this. And holy crap, I can tell you right now, you just, even with these 5-pound weights, it's a lot of work. So give that a try. Try it, if you're brand new to exercise, try it even without weight. Just stand, set the abs, set the back, get the hands rotated, and go into that, and you will feel right back here those muscles really firing up. Now, and then there's a variation on that. So we did it with the hands facing this way. What you can also do is you can turn the hands all the way the other way, lock the shoulders back, and do it this way too. Not quite as intense. You'll be able to feel the difference right away just by turning your hands this way. I don't feel the tricep as much, but it's still good to do. You'll get more of the inside part of the tricep. When you're out here, you really will fire up that outside part of the tricep, the part that will look super nice, you guys, when you get shed off the layers and get back to short sleeve or sleeveless shirts. All right? So give that a shot, and you'll really feel it and really develop that tricep, okay? I guess one last thing I'd just like to say about the tricep. In terms of your arm, you have your bicep meaning 2. There's 2 parts of the arm here, and tricep 3 back here. And so just remember, if you're trying to have arms that look really nice, focus on the 3 more than you focus on the 2. And if you're trying to get the arms to like shape up, look really nice, it's the same idea. You like focus more on the 3/5 compared to the 2/5 of the arm, and you'll have an arm that will really look good. All right? All right, cool. So that's that tip. Let's move on to the next one, which is how many days per week should I train my abs, right? How many days per week should you train your abs? It's a great question. And if you scoured Google for the answer, what you'll find is the answers will range all over the place. I'm going to give you my answer why, and why I think what I think here in just a second. But so our options could be 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days, up to 7 days a week. How many days do you think? Okay. The answer is actually 7. My actual answer is 7 days a week you should train your abs. Now, I'm going to talk to you about why that is, and I'll talk to you about some of the reasons there. So when you think about abs, for one, you know that it's part of the core. But when I say core, it's not the only thing that makes up the core. So if you think of your core, you have your low back muscles, you have your rectus abdominis, you have your transverse abdominis that wraps around and attaches to your back there. You have your internal and external obliques that are here on the sides. Essentially, when you think about core, I want you to think about your abs as a box. So if I stand up here just quick and just show you, you will see the abs are a box. And so there's a top and a bottom to the box, and there's also sides to the box, and there's also a front and back to the box. And so if you want to have a nice flat middle and a strong middle that really works, you have to train every side of the box, the top, the bottom, the left and the right, and the front and the back. And if you're missing out on training every side of the box, you're missing out on training your core. And the chances are, what will happen if you have a core that's not functioning for you, you will be susceptible to injury if you're not already injured. Now, when I say injured, I'm not just talking about low back injury, which is common. If your core is weak, there's a very strong chance. In fact, 80% of all Americans experience low back trouble at some point. And I would be willing to wager that 99% of those that end up with a back injury have a core that's not functioning and not strong enough, and that's the reason why they ended up with a back injury. There are exceptions, of course, but as a high probability, there is a high probability that if you have a back injury, it's because your core is weak. That's at least part of it. The other thing I would tell you, though, that if you have a shoulder that's not working, if you have knees that are sore, they don't feel good, if you have hips that are not functioning right and maybe sore on you, there's a good strong chance also that your core, your abs, and the other parts of the core we just talked about are also weak. So these are things you want to focus on and pay attention to, okay? Now, the reason why, so the question was again, how many days a week should you train your abs? And the answer that I gave is 7. And some of you might be surprised by that, but I want to tell you my reasons why. The abs, see, in your body you have 2 different kinds of muscle primarily. There's a type 1 fiber and there's type 2 fibers. Now, type 1 fibers are fibers of muscle that are what are sometimes called slow twitch fibers, and type 2 are what you sometimes hear referred to as fast twitch muscle fibers. When you think about slow twitch muscle fibers, if you took a biopsy of various muscles on your body right now, what you're going to find is that in a couple areas of your body, you're going to have a lot higher concentration of type 1 muscles, and in other areas of your body, you have a lot higher concentration of type 2 muscles. And type 1 muscles, which are the slow twitch fibers, these are muscles that are meant to endure, to do activities for long periods of time. And where you find those is one in your calf muscles. And those are there because we're designed to be walking creatures. So to walk all the time, you need muscles that can be able to endure and go a long time, right? Just keep enduring. The other place you find them, though, is in your abs. That's why they're saying the abs are a muscle that can be worked every single day, because they're made up primarily of type 1 fibers, because they have a job to support your spine, to support your structure, and they have to be on call all the time to do the work. That's why we can work them all the time. They're type 1 fibers, and they need that kind of work, okay? Now, you might be wondering, Jay, does that mean I should do, get down on the floor and do crunches every day? Or, what does it look like? And I want to be very clear here. When it comes to training your core, training your abs, it's not about just doing exercises that are directly affect your abs. So when you talk about training the core, there are direct exercises, but there also are indirect exercises. Now, for those of you that are members here, we incorporate a ton of indirect core exercises here. I'll give you a couple examples. If you are doing a push-up, you are also doing a plank. If you're doing any variations of push-up, you are also doing a plank. When we're doing rotational exercises using that machine right there, that's called a rip trainer, and it's a stick that has a bungee cord essentially on the one end of it. Anytime you're doing an exercise that's just on one side, whether it's with a dumbbell or with, like, say, the rip trainer, but it's focused on one side, that is bringing in the obliques. So if we're laying on a physio ball and we're doing one arm dumbbell presses, well, we're doing that for one to strengthen your chest and your shoulders, but also we're doing it so that you challenge your oblique. The muscles that are here on the sides, they have to hold you while you're doing this. Then we do the other side and it gets the other side. Those are indirect ab exercises. The direct ab exercises are the ones that many of you kind of like to do, and they're great too. They have a purpose. Those are ones like just doing a plank for the fact of doing a plank, or doing crunches, or doing reverse crunches, or all the exercises. There's a lot of exercise options that you guys hear inside here. That we incorporate as direct ab exercises. And for you out there that are doing exercises on your own or maybe somewhere else that like a lot of these direct ab exercises to do. What I want to, hammer into you is that for every exercise truly should be a core exercise. Just like what we just did with doing, the tricep forward bends a second ago, the very first step is tightening the core. And when you tighten the abs and you get your shoulder blades back, now when you do both of those things, you actually tighten the front and you've tightened the back. So we got the front and back sides just in that exercise. Even though it was for triceps, we also were working the core at the same time. That is an indirect way to train abs. So when I'm saying train abs every day, like for example, if you come here, every single workout you do inside of Altman Fitness, we have those incorporated indirectly and sometimes directly to shape your core. If you are doing a training program on your own, make sure that you're doing every exercise that you're doing, make it an indirect exercise for your abs. But then on your off days, the off days that you are not training here, the off days you're not training in your gym or at your house, what I want you to do is pick a 4 to 7 minute period. You don't need a long time, by the way, to do this. And pick a 4 to 7 minute period, pick 2 or 3 exercises, do them each for 40 seconds to a minute each. And then you're going to repeat 2 or 3 times through there until you get up to 6-7 minutes. If you're brand new, think like maybe 3 minutes. That's enough. It's more about the frequency of training and the quality of training than it is about how much you're doing on just this day. Okay? And so we already talked about, I guess just to reiterate, we talked about the way that the core supports the spine. We talked about the fact that it's type 1 muscle fibers that are primarily there. That's why we can train them every day. We talked about doing direct and indirect exercises. We talked about the fact that when your core is strong, you also are putting yourself in prevent mode from having any kind of an injury. And that's just not an injury around the core. It's actually injuries at your shoulders, at your neck, at your hips, at your knees, at your ankles. If the core is strong, and functioning, that's the other part of it, strong and functioning, then you have a great chance to not have any injuries. And if you ever do get an injury for whatever the reason, you will bounce back much, much faster if your core is functioning and strong. Okay? Which is the last thing I want to talk about with the abs. So when it comes to abs, if you go back to, I think it's episodes 14 through 19, every week I demonstrated 2 exercises that both support the function and the strength of your core. So if you didn't see those yet, go back and watch episodes 14 through 19. And I did a 5-part series where I showed 10 exercises over those 5 weeks that you can incorporate right into what you're doing. They don't take much time at all, but what the purpose of those is to increase the function of your core so that then when you go to, say, do a tricep exercise, automatically the core just turns on. Or when you're standing doing arm curls, boom, it automatically turns on. Or when you're doing squats, boom, it automatically turns on. That's what you want. You want your core to function for you so that it protects you as it needs to. And then the other part of that is once you have the function there, then you might need performance. So whether you're maybe you are a recreational golfer, or you play tennis, or you play basketball or whatever the other thing you might do. Maybe it's just playing outside with your kids. But you want your abs to be able to perform in a way. So whether it's you maybe play baseball in the summer, so you need your abs to contract here. And if they function well, then you can get a lot of power and be able to throw the ball. If your abs don't function well and you try to do this, what happens? You end up with a shoulder injury. The shoulder gets tighter. You're asking it to do way too much work, and you end up with a shoulder injury and or low back injury because you have these rotational forces onto your body that you can't do it. And the same with whether it's golf, tennis, almost. There's, I guess I should say, a lot of sports require twisting and turning and bending while turning. And if you don't have a good, strong, functional core, you're not going to be able to take it to the next level and add performance to it. Okay? Performance exercises are the ones that are much tougher to do, but unless you do them correctly, just by doing the exercises, you can injure yourself. So first make sure your form and function are on point. Then take it to performance style exercise. Got it? All right, cool. All right, guys, that's it for all you guys over here in our Altman Fitness world. I want you guys to stay tuned over here because what we're going to be doing next, I'm going to be walking you through a 7-minute ab exercise plan. We're going to literally do it together on the floor. So hang tight. And before I let you guys go here, I want to tell you that if you're not already a prized member here at Altman Fitness, I want to welcome you in by you'll see just below or above this video, there will be a link for 3 free afterburn workouts. So come and try us out for free and experience what it feels like to do exercise that's the most efficient in terms of getting a fat loss or weight loss result, okay? And we do it in a fun, energetic atmosphere with a bunch of people trying to do the same thing. And remember that also that if you have questions, maybe you don't live here, maybe you live afar and you're looking for training tips, every Wednesday at 10:45, I'm right here live to answer your questions to help you on your own journey. So ask me your questions below and I'll answer those absolutely free for you, okay? And if you got any value of this at all, please do me a favor and like and share so we can spread the word here out into the communities. All right, thanks so much, you guys. I'll talk to you guys next week, 10:45. Bye.